Hi friends, it's Sarah from rufflesandrainboots.com here with an easy and quick succulent gnome planter craft. If you would like to make them, just boop and boop. Stick around. As always, please give this video a like so I know you're here crafting. I am making a lot of these. So go back to December and I'm making a whole bunch of small ones like these little planters in a couple different formats for some gifts. And I decided to film a couple larger ones we're keeping for ourselves. So my daughter and I headed over to the Dollar Tree and picked up a whole bunch of stuff and made a ton of these. So we're going to get started by choosing your jars, whatever, and then also choose plants. We chose all live plants, so I bought a couple pallets of them at the Home Depot. I then went to the floral section at Joann's and got the the sheet moss, but you can use raffia, Spanish moss, and then for the beards you can also use like the ribbon we're going to use or real faux fur, whatever you want. I'm just sizing to see which jars I want to use. And we did a myriad of designs. We did sort of the darker rocks, we did the lighter rocks, we did some glass pebbles for others, just depending on the style of gnome. So I'm going for a little bit more of like a neutral or farmhouse style with these two. But you can do anything you want. That's my point. Head on over to the Dollar Tree and take off all the labels of your jars or vases and then just put some nice interest at the bottom because you're going to be able to see most of this, right? So I'm using two different kinds of vase filler we got at the Dollar Tree. The first one is the dark rocks. You guys and gals see me use this all the time. And then the white ones, which I use on anything light colored because these are really great filler for all kinds of stuff. Gnomes, tier tray pillows, you name it. These are the best to keep in your craft room. So I had the best laid plans. Look, I got a little container. I was using my paint cup to put my soil in. Now I am using sort of a mix that's designed for succulents because these are my plants. If you don't have real plants, you can actually create air dry clay or anything you want for your quote dirt. But again, I'm using real plants, so I actually have to go through and plant them and stuff. We did find that the Dollar Tree had like little succulents as well. So back then they were just $1, now they're $1.25, but you can also get them at places like Daiso Japan. We saw them at Big Lots. Again, these are all the faux succulents for not a lot of money. All right, so after I planted both of them, I cleaned up my space and made it messy again because now I'm cutting the sheet moss. So I just cut 2 strips because I'm going to hang this one, I think, on my back patio. And so I wanted to keep the mason jar hanger part on there. So I just split it in half. So if you're using or attempting to use the Dollar Tree sheet moss, don't. I've tried it so many ways. I've tried it wet. I've tried it dry. It just breaks off and it has a lot of holes in it and it's honestly more frustrating. Just get yourself the big sheet moss from the craft store with a coupon and it's so much better. All right, so for the beard, I had this sent to me. This is a very wide fur ribbon and it has this crease right here. So if you don't know how to get creases out of faux fur, use a very light heat and just run your fingers through it. Don't get real close. Don't put it on high, but it will get the crease out really, really well. All right, so I didn't know how to cut this stuff, y'all. I think it's a Christmas ribbon. It has a Christmas label, and it's about, I don't know, 4 inches wide. It's pretty sizable, and so I thought I'd use it for this. Plus, I didn't know what was going to happen after watering and everything, thinking I'm not going to use some really nice stuff on it, you know? So I'm just cutting it the same way I do faux fur with an X-Acto knife and only cutting through that fabric backing. And you can see it has like these little sewn edges, so you have to cut those as well. For a little visual interest in the back, I'm going to be using a 2-inch burlap ribbon and I'm just going to affix this all the way around the center just to hide some of the soil look that you see in the back. And plus I have a really, really big roll of burlap ribbon, like a lot. I use it on everything. Wreaths, book stacks. That roll doesn't seem to get smaller. It's a perpetual roll of burlap ribbon. All right, so I'm just going to be gluing this down right up under the moss collar for the jar, and I'm just going to make sure it's really well glued down on the jar. So I figured if it got dirty, I'd just rip this off with a little heat and my plant would still be okay. And now I'm going to attach the nose. This bothered me because normally I like to have something over the top of my nose, but my daughter, this was my daughter's design, and so what we did is just split the fur to the fabric backing, added glue right here, and plopped on a floating nose. Watch this. It's just sitting in the middle of everything. There he is in all his glory. Okay, for the other one, really quickly, I love this dried moss. I love it. Doesn't it look like a bird's nest? Like you can make a bird's nest in, oh, I don't know, 3 seconds. But I'm going to use it as a beard. I have a woodland gnome that I use this as a beard on, and it's so popular. So I thought, I have this stuff on hand, why not? So in order to hide some of the dirt on this guy, I'm going to be using a buffalo check ribbon, and I'm just going to glue the wired parts because you can see when you try and glue through the actual ribbon. So I'm just going to get that down, and then where it joins, I'm actually just going to cover that part up with the moss. I am not going to lie to you, working with this stuff for a beard is not the easiest. It does have this detritus in it. You do have to pull out little random pieces of things, but it works really well because it holds its shape together, and so it's really easy to make into an actual beard. So all I'm doing is just adding glue to the back of it and then pressing it in with my spatula. And then I'm just going to add more wherever it is thin because I'm just going to end up trimming it in a second. So I just want to trim it to where it comes in at a point at the bottom, but I had to fill in where any thin spots were. So give it a cut, and it's really that simple. It's really cute. This one is one of my favorites that we made out of all of them because I do like the ones that are more simple. I like that this can get wet and I don't have to worry about the quality of the fur going down. So you can see me here. I'm just widening out the beard on one side. And then the way I'm doing that is just add glue right to the top of the existing moss. You don't have to worry about it. It will adhere. And then just, again, trim out anything that you've added if it's sticking out too far. I use a little bit larger nose on this one, and then I'm going to top it off with a little bit of Spanish moss or the dried moss, just because, again, I'm a girl who likes something over the nose. What about you? I mean, would you have left it alone? I don't know. You can tell me in the comments section. Be honest. What do you think of these? I thought this was such a fun, quick craft. I didn't even think about sharing it, but now that I'm seeing it all over in the groups, I thought I would. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this? Would you make any? Have you made them already? Join us in the Facebook group. I'll put the link down below. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.